I want to share with you the attitude and the spirit of the people and the Holy Land and Israel. And one of the things I want to share with you that I don't think anyone in America seems to get, because if you listen to the podcast of various people, you don't hear it at all announced in the news or talked about in the conversation arena of AI podcasters, streamers, influencers. And what is that? Israelis are not sweating you. And for some reason, you talk into the ether of a microphone or a video camera, and you think the people in Israel are listening. They're not. They're not. There's a cursory aware that you are out there, but these people have been too busy fighting to succeed, thriving, and surviving. Nobody's listening to you. And it's to the Israeli credit that they are busy doing what they're doing, not sitting here preoccupied with what CNN or Fox News or Alex Jones or Candace Owens or anybody in the U.S. is saying, and your pastors and your whoever you are reading. They're not at your Starbucks coffee shops worrying about what you think of them. They're too busy doing and living life. And that's something to be said. They know who they are. They have a culture that is much stronger, deeper, and longer than anything we have in the United States of America. That should be pretty obvious. And anybody who would suggest anything different, the only way that you could justify to make such a suggestion would be, or inference, is to look back on your ancestors who came from someplace else, not from the U.S. Your great-great-grandmothers from Czechoslovakia and Poland and Austria and wherever else in the world. So, just to give you all an understanding, they're not looking for you for political advice or spiritual direction. They're not. They understand, as do most people in this Semitic region, and Semite is not just applied to Jews, by the way. The Semitic people, the Semites, that's this entire region. Iranians, they're Semites. Did you know that? Iraqis, they're Semites. Egyptians, they're Semites. So to be anti-Semitic, you have to be against everybody in this entire region. But just to emphasize again, it would be nice if Americans would learn to live like the people do here. First of all, the Iranians aren't sweating the U.S. or Britain either. Israelis aren't sweating you, and the Iranians aren't sweating you. Africans, they're not sweating the U.S. and Britain either. But something about the West, people in the West, those of us who've grown up, there's this mindset that everybody's world seems to revolve around what you think of them or what we fellow Americans think of them. They're not. Now imagine if you transfer that to your spiritual life for the Lord. And if you actually live, and that's the way the Lord told you to live, why are you worrying about what other people think? Why are you living in a vacuum and echo chamber of other people's thoughts and view of you? Well, unlike the people here, you guys, most of you in America, you just have no conviction. That's why you're all over the place. And that's why you're worrying about what somebody says and what somebody thinks and what somebody posted. You're living in a false illusion and a mirror of lies and opinions because you have no conviction of yourself, no belief in which governs your life. You're not true to yourself. You're true to a environmental, societal, majority and pejorative view of what it means to be a follower of God. If anything, you're indoctrinated by religious fallacy. But that faith comes from this area and this region. And nobody is sweating what somebody else thinks about them. But you are. They have their belief, they have their conviction, they're true to it. Like it, love them, or hate them. They are being true to themselves. Why aren't you? Being true to your faith so that you allege Your faith seems to bounce between what church, what pastor, what book you're reading. You're all over the place. And most of you come from Mormonism and Jehovah's Witness, and you come from Scientology, you come from Pentecostalism, you come from conventional traditionalism out of the main four, the Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, and Episcopalian. And then the rest are a hodgepodge mix of all kinds of charismatic, evangelical menagerie. And I left Catholic out because they were the king and queen of the block until Protestantism took hold. And to some degree, they still maintain more of an ancient faith and ancient belief. Be true to who you are, if who you are is right. And be willing to change who you are if who you are is wrong. Be a seeker of truth, not a seeker to defend who you are, but a seeker to defend who you are becoming, the change, the transformation, to become more like him, more like the attributes of the faith that you ascribe to, that you believe in, that you read, that you hear, to be your highest and your best. Peter said it best, better to please God than to please men. And that includes you who think that your life and your happiness is centered around what your wife feels or thinks. It does not. Or a political icon. It does not. Or how much money you make, or the address or location of your real estate where you live. It does not. It's a mindset that's agreed. I love you, Lord, no matter what. I love God. I believe in God. I trust in him. In all of my imperfections and all the things I don't know. You don't trust in him because you know everything. You trust in him because you know enough. You know enough to know that there is a God, a maker, haver, creator of heaven and earth. And that it is a journey. It's not an instant prayer. It's not a service. It's not a seminar. It's not a stadium meeting at some crusade. It's a life decision to the day you breathe your last breath. And the change will continue to go on after that. Even after that, it is not over. So stop sweating and thinking most that you know anything about your judgments of Israel and Zionism and Jewishness. Serve the Lord. Be faithful. Be honorable. Be dependable. Be loyal. Be kind. Be bold. You represent the Lord of heaven and earth. He's no pushover. He's compassionate. He's loving. He's judge. He's just. He's Father. And of course, he is King. He's God. Do better.
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. God, ruler of the universe, blessed are you. God, ruler of the universe, blessed are you. Shema Yisrael Eloheinu Adonai. Shema Yisrael Adonai. Eloheinu Adonai. Oh, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, O God, ruler of the universe. Blessed are you, O God, ruler of the universe. Ain't living in 1619, 1492, or 1776. Can't account for CE, AD, or BC. Wasn't there when the men were born in the sticks. I'm here now, wasn't born then. Is my generation got to fight this battle? Lose or win, yesterday's gone. I'm here now, live or die. I got my hand to the plow. I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this. Come on. I ain't just talking, spitting a rap. I'm getting to work, watch me, I'll show you how. It's my turn now, I ain't sweating this. I'm on the prowl, I got this. And in a cross that I wear, it's the one that I carry. Not around my neck, but on my back. I'm getting back to the basics, I'm in a hurry.
I ain't sweating this.
Yeah, I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this, y'all, I ain't sweating this. My freedom doesn't come at the end of a sign. Watching in the protest, not a part of the group in a line. The world and their foolishness, I'm an idea, I got my compass. I set my path, not in a mess. I ain't like the rest, not defined by my sex. What's between my legs, it ain't that part that makes me glad. I ain't sweating this. Y'all, I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this. Yeah. I said, not defined by my sex. What's between my legs, it ain't that part. Did you hear what I said? What I am, or what I'm not. It's in my mind, my soul, and my whole heart. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad.
Yo, got a God ain't from a book of myths or in a box. I serve the Lion of Judah, not the Hound of Hell. That's the fox. My idol ain't a priest or a pope, a pastor, pimp, or anything. That ain't my hope. More than an energy or philosophy, grounded in more than my fantasy, the real reality. Impossible to comprehend it fully. I'm just a teacup, can't hold this mystery. Just a cube of wisdom is more than enough for me. I ain't sweating this.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Not the politics or activists. No. To hell with the sorceress scientists. Mixing the cannabis with the alchemist, then thinking you see anything because of your psychedelics. You can have your witch shamans, gurus, and psychics, astrologists and apologists. I take the simplicity of the atom. It's God's physics. I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this. You hear me? I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this. I ain't sweating this. Don't need to paint over the original. Cut it, splice it, mutate it until it's unrecognizable. There's more value leaving what's not broke as it is than thinking you can make it more than what it is. You can't cope. I ain't sweating you. Nah, I ain't sweating you. I'm just an average, but the genuine article. Not less than more than all your inflated argument. My little is a lot, because that's all it takes. Making more of a difference is what I've got. Perfectly imperfect as a human creature. Yeah, created in his stitches. My flaws are my features. Y'all, I ain't trying to erase or cancel what makes me me. I'm God's joke and his pride and joy, strong or weak. My worth is priceless, his love is endless. No man or woman can deem me worthless. Ain't sweating you, nah, ain't sweating you. What you say or what you do, you're just a blade of grass, dried up through and through. Dust in the wind, blown from the end. Formless, voidless, voiceless, and you ain't nothing but emptiness. I ain't sweating you, I ain't sweating you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
I ain't sweating you. I ain't sweating you. I ain't sweating you. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Yeah. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.